Good morning. Saying yes to more love. That is the theme of the day. We have the three energy with the Ten of Hearts contract, and they're calling us to open up to amplified opportunities of giving and receiving love, and really being the love that we want to see in the world. I know it sounds so cliche, but this is about taking heart centered, inspired action and being of service through that and turning in, even the most mundane acts of service into something, creating it into something magical, right? There's a calling for that today. And yeah, just really leaning into the fullness and the available opportunities to love and be of service without judgment, without fear, without resentment. And yeah, let's dive into this. So I'm Kristen Vallis. I'm your quantum numerologist, wealth expansion coach, and certified brain game coach. And basically, what that means is I help people know who they are, know what they want, know how to create it, and really step into the fullness of their life and their purpose and the fullest expression of their authentic self. And I use those tools to do that. And so today, we're talking about the energy of the day. It's about seeing and stepping into the bigger picture, even though we're not exactly clear on how to get there. And maybe we're feeling some anxiety about wanting to experience it now. The 10 is so over all of this stuff that we've been seeing rise up so dramatically in the past 2 years, and really wanting to get on with it already. And so, and with that 7 energy month too, that impatience coming in and the amplification of it with the 3, we're kind of feeling that today. And there could be a lot of mental energy. I've been feeling a lot of mental energy today. It was even challenging to meditate just because there's all of these new ideas and awarenesses coming in, but also 10 can be overthinking, obsessing with that 3 combined. So that can keep us out of our heart space. And this is important because with the 10 of Hearts, we're really being asked to open up to the opportunities, to the fullness of love, the overflow of love. And when we're stuck in our mind, it's kind of challenging to be able to do that. And so, just to review, because our theme for the week that I talked about yesterday in the weekly forecast is, this being of service from a place of love and loving full on in that service without expectation of reward, without judgment of who we're being of service to. And I think that's the big thing today is there's so many opportunities coming in to be of service, and really releasing the judgment that can come along with the 3 and even with the 10. The 10 can be a little self-centered sometimes in its lower expression. And so just being conscious of that, where are we expecting people to acknowledge us or to give us something back, give us love in return for us doing certain things or being of service. That's codependence. And we've been talking about this for a while now, about this being the time that we're really being asked to shed any remaining codependence that we may be experiencing and feeling. And so really being conscious of that, being conscious of our motivations for doing things, right? The caveat today is really being aware of where you might be judging an opportunity with disdain or resentment based on unresolved pain or trauma, and creating separation, missing opportunities as a result. So the questions to ask yourself today: are you willing to open up to giving and receiving love with everyone? Or is it only people you deem safe or you're comfortable with, or you feel like are deserving of that love? So, what do I mean by that? Well, I was thinking back to this example I gave yesterday with my neighbor and the laundry situation. And, we can look at these things in such mundane things. There's so many opportunities and examples to learn and to love and to dive into being of service more through that. And so, yesterday I was complaining, which the 10 can complain, and I am a ruling number 10, about him waking me up with doing the laundry before the laundry room officially opens. And the laundry room is right below my bedroom. And so, when I was looking at that today and noticing that I was still harboring resentment, not about being woken up anymore, but because when I went down to use the machine myself yesterday afternoon, discovering that he left a mess in it. When you forget to take the tissues out of your pockets and it shreds all in the washer and everything, well, there's shredded tissue all over the washer. And so I was like, I can't deal with this right now. So, I was trying to run down there and throw my laundry in quick, and I'm like, I don't have time right now to clean this up. And I was resentful because I was like, this guy, like, what the heck, And so I noticed that resentment coming up again today because it's like, okay, no one else used the machine last night. So now I know if I want to use the machine, I have to go and clean this mess up before I can use it. And the resentment was coming up, and it gave me the opportunity to go, oh my, wait a minute. First of all, what is at the heart of the resentment? And so I, used my brain game tools. The heart of the resentment is not feeling respected or acknowledged or cared for, right? Like, he doesn't care about anyone else. He only cares about himself, blah, blah, blah. And seeing that old trigger rise up and really being able to look at that and see it for what it is and go, okay, this is my shit. Like, really, this is annoying, but it's not a big deal. And then taking it a step further and going, oh my goodness, like, I've been looking for opportunities to be of service and trying to be open to opportunities to be of service and, asking my higher self, okay, where can I be of service today? What can I do to show up and be of service? And here's an opportunity right here in front of my face, but I don't like this one. So I don't want to do this one. I don't want to be of service this way. I don't want to, clean up this machine just to, be of service to my apartment community, or help this guy out because he was, too whatever to do it himself. And, that's what I realized this morning. It's like, oh, like, here's such a wonderful opportunity to love more, right? Can I love this neighbor even though he's behaving in a way that isn't in a way that, isn't a way that it's not somebody I would want to hang out with, right? Somebody who isn't considerate of me. And so can I love him? Can I be of service? Can I show up anyway and clean up this machine and just do it because? And could I even use that creative power of the 3 to make it into a magical experience, and take it out of the mundane and actually enjoy being of service in that way, being able to show up and just go, I'm creating a better space right now for my little apartment community by doing this, and being able to love that act of doing that. So, we can take some very mundane experiences and turn them into some pretty big, wonderful, loving acts if we want to. And so that's the invitation today is, be open and aware of all the opportunities that present to you and be willing to embrace them and say yes. The 10 of Hearts is about saying yes. It's about saying yes to all the fullest expressions of love, not just the ones we pick and choose. And, we can see this going on in the collective experience right now, again, with this cancel culture and with the separation that's, been taking place for so long now and getting so exacerbated, with all of the different reasons we shouldn't trust one another, we shouldn't love one another, we shouldn't associate with one another, whether it's because of medical procedures you've agreed to have or not have, whether it's, whether you're wearing a certain thing on your face or not, whether it's, gosh, there's so many ways, there's all of the stuff that's been coming up around, what the pronouns and the color of your skin, and all of these different reasons that we should be separate from one another. And we're even moving around the country right now to find places where we can be more like the other people we're around, instead of being able to find ways to love through the differences, to love through the false appearance of separation, when we know in our hearts that we're all one. We are all one human race. We are all one soul. We are all from the same source, whatever you call that source. And so, all of this separation is an illusion. There really isn't any separation. There really isn't. Duality is an illusion. It's a system of being that we've created for ourselves here, so that we can learn through it and come back to that space of being one, the truth that we're all one. And so, this 10 of Hearts is calling us into that remembering today. And how do we get there? How do we do it? And seeing this bigger picture doesn't mean that we're there yet and that we can be there yet. It's about enjoying the journey. The 3 is about enjoyment. It's about pleasure. It's about celebration and playfulness and creativity. And so how can we take where we are now, which can seem extraordinarily mundane and extraordinarily harsh in terms of some of the things that are going on in our world that we may not be enjoying, and find the opportunities to love more in them, to expand our experience of love, to expand our experience of being of service in the face of pain, in the face of anger, in the face of trauma responses, the triggers that we feel when some of these things come up. And there's so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities to be of service and to love more. And so when we practice taking heart-inspired action, where we bring our minds, the overthinking, the mind chatter, we bring that down, we invite the mind into the heart space, and we come back to the truth of who we are, the essence of us, the love that we are. That's the truth of who we are. And so when we come back into that space, how do we show up from there? How do we interact with each other from there? How do we love from there? Because love will never steer you wrong. Love is the path to what we are creating, to this higher version of the world, to the new world that we're creating. Our new world order, which is a world order based in love, not fear, not separation, not judgment, not criticism, all of those things. It's a new world order, a new love order, right? And it's finding our way into that, which is so powerful, and what this energy is calling us into today and this week. And when we can truly show up without an agenda, when we can truly show up just in this unconditional place of love, when we can let go of all the fear of having to manipulate resources, of having to get things from outside of ourselves, that we have everything within us in order to have all of the experiences we want. We don't need anything from outside of us. We have the love within us. We have all the resources. We have the ability to create everything that we want. There's no need to try and get something from anyone else. And when we can come into that true understanding, really truly within the heart of us, and come through all of our expressions from that place, anything's possible. Anything's possible. We can create an incredible world, you guys, but we have to practice. We have to practice loving through all of it. And that's the challenge that we're being presented with this week, this whole year, the past 2 years, and we will continue to be presented with this challenge and opportunities for growth and expansion into more love. So with that, I leave you today, and I'll see you again tomorrow as we expand into feeling our way through life instead of thinking our way through life. Have a great day, guys.